თან خصوصا كمجتمعين.
Hello everyone, warm greetings from Georgia. I am Elena Shalamberize. I am very glad to see you. I am sure we will have an unforgettable day. We have amazing young speakers today and we are looking forward to their remarkable talk and transformation. Today is a really amazing day. We will hear the voice of European youth from Georgia. Oh my God, this is a wonderful fact. Thanks to the project leaders Inga Harchilava and special Mr. Payush Pandit for this opportunity. A big thank you to everyone who joined us today and to those with whom are watching later for our amazing session today. Now it is with a great pleasure that I introduce to IIU. International Internship University is a leading virtual education system and global brand confederation, which is the most valuable and trusted worldwide and well reputed in delivering innovative programs. Globally, it is a trust name for quality training programs and is committed to providing better and virtual education to all the young learners of the globe. IIU is metasphasing the conventional education system by cutting down the additional costs and providing access to more than 1,000 class courses and international internship to their learners across the globe. With the help of its 1,000 class global educators, the IIU has formed its four campuses, namely one in Women Entrepreneurs Council, International Student Development Council, International Youth Development Council, and International Council of Educators. The main objective behind the councils is providing support in every respect to the students, youth, women, entrepreneurs, and educators. It is a short span of time. IIU has spread its wings in 195 countries and 6 continents under the strong leadership of its visionary founder, Mr. Payush Pandit. It's my great honor to introduce our IIU founder, Mr. Payush Pandit. My great respect and gratitude to you. A committed and inspiring social activist, a passionate education from the last 2 decades, providing education to students from various social and virtual backgrounds. He has popularized the world education policy. One education, one foundation, and one world. The visionary Payush Pandit had just one dream. No child should be provided of education. He is working towards it day and night. He is safeguarding and promoting education and well-being of learners at all times of life. It commendable. The sky is the limit for your dedication and hard work. You are a source of inspiration for us young people, and not only young people. Thank you very much for all you do to make education shine. God bless you and give you strength. Please keep up the amazing and important work, but do not forget sometimes rest. Please take care, we need you. And now I would like to invite you, the project director, head of Europe, the country director, Mrs. Inga Hachilava. Please tell us your valuable role and motivate the youth.
Wow, thank you so much, Ellen. Yes, you are right. Today is a very important day. Hello, everybody. How are you all? I am Inga Harchilava, yes, project director, IIU, Europe head, and country director, Georgia. Thank you so much. What an important day. today. Look at these amazing young people who are ready to do their part to reduce the sustainable development goals. Our project is very important because the new generation is trying to convey the voice to the world. Young people are your future. Yes. Many thanks to all the teachers who try to raise the awareness of their students and also try to fight together for the future. IIU, which was created by our dear Mr. Piyush Pandit, give us a very good opportunity for this. He brought together teachers, trainers, educators, and students from all over the world with one goal to improve future education. Today is an even more important day for me and of course from Georgia, from IIU, from Europe, because today we have guests from Georgia and we will listen to the new vision and new voice of your Georgian students. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. And thank you so much. We have today very amazing teachers, dear Ekaterina, dear Manana, and Georgian best English teacher also, dear Manana Kapitavidze. Welcome, dear Manana Kapitavidze, please. Let's just know that you think about this project, please. Dear Manana, can you hear me? Okay.
I'm sorry, there's a technical problem. Just a second, please, until we fix it.
Okay. No problem. I'm waiting. Okay, no problem. Alan, please go ahead and call your first speaker.
And now it's time to invite the first speaker, who is today an innovative guest from Georgia, Archil Janglashvili. Please introduce yourself and share your presentation with us.
Hello again.
Welcome.
I'm sorry. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. So we're presenting today my school and my town, which is a small town in Imereti district, which is in Georgia, are presenting some of the interesting presentations about 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and my student will be presenting them. And the first student, let me introduce you. It's Archil Janglashvili, who will be talking about what? Energy, and he has kind of a very how to say, creative presentation, and I hope you will enjoy watching it and listening to him. Thank you so much, Archil.
Hello.
Thank you so much.
So first of all, I must thank you. I'm thankful to be part of this project, and it's an honor to be the first person to present. I am ready. I can start. I will start sharing my screen now. It is visible, right?
I see. Yes, let's start.
Okay. Yes, okay. I'm from Georgia, and as my teacher said, I'm from a very small town. It is Baghdadi, and I learn in #2 public school. And today I'm going to be showing you my presentation about clean energy. And if you think that Toddler wrote this, it is a style I chose to scribble around. So first of all, I have a question. What is energy? Well, to answer that, it's a complex question, but if you schmoogle that, you can find that on Schmoogle, it says that energy is generated from processing physical, chemical resources, essentially to provide light and heat or to work machines. But what do you think about when someone mentions energy? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? Well, for me, it is electricity because as I think it is really common. We see it everywhere as lights, as cars have electricity, phones have electricity, our computers have electricity, but there's more energy types than electricity. For example, heat is one of the most common type of energy that we get from burning fossil fuels like coal, oil, natural gases, and we turn all that heat that these fossil fuels give us and turn it into electricity. So there is something really bad about heat that really makes it, I think, overrated. That is, it is very, very easy to waste. Since it's heat and you can't really contain it into something. So this is according to Schmoogle again, all the energy that power plants make, it's called 100%, only 33 to 40% of that energy is actually used at homes, at cars, PCs, computers, phones. But as you see in the chart, more than half of it, 62 max in the worst case scenario, 67%, is just wasted because of not being able to contain it in a battery. And there's, we mentioned it earlier, that there is something that is a lot efficient than heat. It's not as used as we think, and it is the more we can trust it more than heat, and that is obviously electricity, because we have batteries where we can store electricity and use it whenever we desire. So we're not wasting any of it. But even though it is so good to use, still, as we see on this chart, part of all energy, only small amount of all energy is electricity. It is only 20%, and else every other 18% is just fossil fuels, the ones that make a really big waste and ones that cause global warming. So the solution to this is something that we heard a lot of times, and it is to just switch to electricity. It is a hard process, but we have to do it. I know that we have heard this 1,000 times, but it has to be mentioned again because that is the only answer to that we can give to global warming. We've heard that this is the answer, just to switch to electricity. But where can we start from, and what can we as simple citizens can do about it? First of all, the best thing to do for our world would be to switch the fossil fuel cars that are run on oil and gas, to electric ones, because there's a 1.446 billion of fossil fuel vehicles, like cars, and also planes, tractors, trains, and many more. We can switch all of them to electricity, and this would really help our Earth breathe. So switching cars is it's not under our management, because we are only citizens. If we can only switch our cars, but sorry. So this is a big company's job to switch all the cars, and we can do that. But what we can is, as you see on my board, for simple things that would really help Earth if we would all do this. That is, don't leave the lights on when you're not in the room because it's not necessary and you're just wasting electricity. Again, I said it is hard to waste, but it is still wastable. We are using electricity for nothing when we are not in the room. Also, change the light bulbs to economic ones. It makes a subtle difference, but it is still very important. Wash your clothes in the cold water sometimes. So yeah, not a big thing, but still it's important when a lot of people do this. And most important thing is that don't turn the lights when there is sunlight, because most of the day there's sunlight and we don't really require electricity. So to sum up, now we know that we waste more than half of all the energy we make, and then we cry about it why we don't have enough energy and why is there global warming, because we waste too much. And electricity is actually least wasteful energy, and it is very useful. And we all can do something to help wasting energy. So thank you for letting me be a part of this, and thank you for listening.
Thank
If
you
you have
very
any
much.
questions, I can answer.
No, I don't have questions. This is amazing presentation. Thank you very much. And we have the next speaker. A little girl is Natalie. Not Roshvili. Please tell us yourself. Natalie,
I
can
am
you-
Natalie Roshvili from Georgia. 13th goal of sustainable development, actions against climate change. Our planet Earth is surrounded by our atmosphere, which contains 21%. Without oxygen, there would be no life on Earth. Bioatmosphere is like a blanket of the air. It protects the air, a thick layer of the air scatters the sun rays, and at night it protects the air and keeps it warm. The layer of the atmosphere, the troposphere, forms the layer which has a great influence on human life and activities. Therefore, the atmosphere is polluted with harmful gases that prevent the release of heat from climate change will have many bad consequences on our planet, creating conditions that we can place on the tree of problems. This is tree. Electricity, forest fires, transport, burning of leaves and vines, eruption of volcanoes, deforestation, exhaust gases, and result. Melting of glaciers, sea level rise, floods, strong winds, droughts, landslide, and eruption. This is bad climate. This is bad climate. This is good climate. This is bad climate, and this is good climate. Swedish citizen school student Greta Thunberg, who created a movement responded to climate change. Friday for future. In my country, every year the yield decreases. There is no precipitation. The lake in my yield has completely dried up. It was filled by underground water. And finally, if you want your children and grandchildren to live, then we must pay attention to climate change. I'm happy to.
Thank you very much.
Anastasia, we cannot see you.
ვისა კამერა გესმით ჩვენი ხმა?
1 minute. Dear.
ხმა
We cannot see you.
ისმის?
Dear, ხმა ისმის.
და იცი კამერა ჩართული გვაქვს და რატო არა ჩანს?
გაიჭედა მე მგონი.
რაღაცა არაუშავთ, ალბათ ინტერნეტია სუსტი. Thank you so much.
არ ვიცი, კამერა გვაქვს ჩართული. აი კიდე, აბა, აი ეხლა
yes. Yes, my little, yes.
დავიწყოთ თავიდან?
არა, თავიდან ვერ დავიწყებთ. ნახოთ თუ გვიჩვენებს ფოტოები გვიჩვენოთ.
Yes.
ფოტოები.
This is photo. This is bad climate. This is good climate.
Amazing, wow.
This is bad climate.
Super.
This is good climate. And this is bad climate.
Wow, great. It's
I am
very
happy to.
wonderful.
Thank you, Inga Khachilova.
We're also happy. And now we're next speaker. The Anastasia Shubidze. Please tell us your work. You ready, Anastasia? Are you here? Please mute your microphone.
Yes, Anastasia here. Sharing.
Yes. Okay.
Hello, Anastasia, can you hear me? Please share your presentation, please. Hello, Anastasia.
Tamta გავუშვათ პირველი მაშინ და მე Anastasia.
Okay. Go ahead, Tamta, please share your presentation.
Yes.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Tamta from Georgia, from the 7th class of the 104th public school, named after Mikhail Javakishvili in the city of Tbilisi. My teacher is Manana Bakarza, and I am so happy that I'm here in this project. Let's start. Quality education by Tamta Kitashvili. Next. What's quality education? The exact answer isn't no, but in my opinion, this is what is important for everyone, and you will probably agree with me if I say that an educated person is more useful than an uneducated one. Next. Nowadays, there are more ignorant people than knowledgeable people. Around 5% of 100% of people in the world don't receive education, but the 95% who receive poor quality education are still uneducated. Why? Because out of this 95%, only 30 got quality education. General education. Quality education is important for individuals as well as for society, because this is part of our useful future. Despite the achievement of recent years, the education system of Georgia is still facing many challenges. Low quality of education is the main challenge for children in Georgia, and the academic achievement rate of Georgian students is lower than there in international studies of students knowledgeable aspects. About 2/3 of 50 years old students fail to meet minimum standards in the reading comprehension, science, and math. The quality of education is significantly worsened by the low qualification of teachers and the inefficient system of employing teachers. As a result of comparison with other countries, 50 partner schools launched a new national curriculums for primary grades, which introduced new teaching methods and digital technologies in education. Also, quality education contributes to all 17 sustainable development goals. Achieve the goals of sustainable development, children occupy a central place in the state's strategy and action plan. Thank you for attention.
Thank you very much. This super big clap. And now I have the next speaker, Georgi Kurtsikidze. Please tell us yourself. Can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
Hello. You ready?
Yes, I'll present. Can you see it?
I see. Let's start.
Okay. So, hold on. There you go. Okay, there we go. So, poverty and ways to end it. So basically, first I'll start with an introduction. Hello, my name is Georgi Kurtsikidze. I am from Baghdati. I study at #2 public school, and I chose a topic of one of the 17 goals of the UA, which is no poverty. And today I'll talk about how I think that we could all end poverty. So first of all, what is poverty? Let me explain poverty as a person is in poverty when they're like homeless, they're struggling with financial issues, they don't have a house, they don't have a good education, they don't have a job and stuff like that. poverty is the combination of all the problems of the world. So basically, poverty when there's not a good job, a person ends up in poverty. When they don't have a good education, it ultimately ends up in poverty. And so basically, poverty is the combination of every problem in the world. So, is there poverty in Georgia? There is a simple answer for that, and that's yes. So, is there a way to solve poverty? Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I'll talk about that in just a second. So, how to solve poverty? There are three things to do. So, first thing to do is to build homeless shelters. But I want to build a homeless shelter with my own rules. So, first of all, what are those rules? So, basically, a person has two options of how they will stay at the homeless shelter. So first of all, they have to be homeless, obviously. So basically, the homeless shelters have to be strict, unfortunately, so that the people go have a stable life. We have to be a little strict for them. With them. So first, there is one way. Then that is that the people living in the homeless shelters have to live there temporarily while they find a good job, make money to buy rent out like an apartment, and then they leave the homeless shelter, and we say goodbye to them and to wish them good luck. But there is a second way, and that is the person uses the homeless shelter as a permanent living space, and they work at the homeless shelter. But unfortunately, we won't be able to pay enough. We won't be able to pay them. We're going to pay them minimum wage, unfortunately, because while giving them a place to stay, we don't have that. We won't have enough money to give it to them when they work. So basically, we're paying them by living here. So basically, they're working here. Basically, they're making food, they're cleaning up, they're making beds, taking care of others, and stuff like that. The second thing to do is to improve education. Now, what does education and someone that's homeless has in common? How does a person that has a bad education end up in poverty? Well, first of all, with a bad education, you won't be able to go into college. Then when you don't go into college, you obviously can't work. And obviously when you can't work, you can't make money. And when you can't make money, you're in poverty. So to improve education is one way to do it. And the third way to do it is to improve work environments. Now, work environment is so that the person actually likes working there. When they don't like working there, or when even though there are some jobs where like bosses or some companies that bosses or other employees are very toxic. If I can say it like that, toxic. They give their they give their employees way much more than they can handle at work. And when the employee says something about it, they get fired. When they get fired, they have a permanent record that says that they were fired. And when other companies check that they were fired, they'll be like, oh, why was he fired? And they won't, there's a higher chance that they won't hire you. And then when you don't get hired, you can't make money and poverty. So yeah, those are the three things that we can do to end poverty, to solve poverty. Now, is all this possible? The things that I said, make homeless shelters, so improve work environments, improve education. Well, the answer to that is with the right to help, with the right state of the country, yes, everything is possible. Thank you for listening. And if you have any questions, please ask.
Thank you very much. Wow, that was an amazing presentation. Your amazing, all the speakers are really amazing, and your presentation are excellent. And we have the next speaker, Keta Daushili. Please tell us your work.
Hello everyone, my name is Keta Daushili from Georgia. I study in 124 public school. My teacher is Manana Bakradze, and I'm happy to be a part of this project. I made a presentation about poverty, eradication of all forms of poverty. Poverty holds one of the most important role in country's economy. That's why I think it's quite a relevant topic to discuss. This topic will become especially relevant in today's reality. Poverty is not only a problem for the whole world, the scale of which is constantly growing. Today, this problem affects millions of people. When a person or family's income is less than a certain level, such a person or family is considered poor because of poverty is directly. Economic development of the countries and ways to overcome poverty in Georgia. Let's consider the main goals aimed at overcoming poverty. 1. Politics directed against poverty will be directed by the superficial spending of the social budget and effective mechanisms for the selection of the beneficiaries, a program for the development of the hospital system, a development of network of rural doctors, a state-provided insurance system for the poor, a social personal packet, a program since beginning. Number 2, rapid economic growth and poverty reduction require the development of the road infrastructure, private investments in port and railway infrastructure, implementation of the open sky police library, regime of the land transportation, increased utilization of hydropower stressors, diversification of energy supply, and reduction of regional imbalance. The general indicator of the standard of living of the population GDP and GDP calculated per capita. In this regard, we have such a situation in Georgia, gross domestic product per capita 2017-2021. Poverty and economic inequality remain one of the main problems of the modern world. Despite the rapid pace of the world globalization, the regions of the world differ significantly from each other in terms of standard of living. Conclusion. This work has clearly shown us that poverty is one of the most serious and important problems not for only special countries, but for the whole world. It can be stated that there is no countries that doesn't not suffer from the poverty and related problems at least on a certain level. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you very much. It was a really excellent and important presentation. Thank you. We have the next great speaker, Nicholas Denisashvili. Please share your presentation with us. Can you hear me, Nicholas? Are you here there? Please share.
Yeah, hello. Is my turn?
Yes, let's start.
Share my screen.
Yes. I see. Let's start. Good luck.
So hello, my name is Nicholas Denisashvili, and today I will talk about one of sustainable development goals, and my chosen is climate change. Yeah. So at first, I want to say what is climate. Some part of people usually think that climate is the same thing as weather, but climate is not the same thing as weather. Weather is the condition of the atmosphere over a short period of time. Climate is the average course of weather conditions for a particular location over a period of many years. So every time we hear that there is climate change, so because of that, today I'm going to talk about why is climate change so important thing to know, how do scientists measure climate change, what is causing climate change, and are there any chances to stop climate change? So why is climate change one of sustainable development goals? For many, a warming climatic system is expected to impact the availability of basic necessaries like fresh water, food security, and etc. While efforts to reduce climate change, both through adaptation and mitigation, which similarly inform and shape the global development agenda. The links between climate change and sustainable development are strong. Poorer developing countries, particularly less developed countries, will be among those most adversely affected and least able to cope with the anticipated shocks to their social, economic, and natural systems. Now, what is Sustainable Development Goals? The Sustainable Development Goals, also known as the Global Goals, were adopted by the United Nations in 2015 as a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that by 2030 all people enjoy peace and prosperity. The 17 SDGs are integrated, that they recognize that action in one area will affect outcomes in others, and that development must balance social, economical, and environmental sustainability. So these are goals which must be done for 2030, and on the 13th place there is climate change, and these are 17 goals. These 17 goals are connected to each other with imaginary spider web. That is because if at least one goal from all these goals won't be done, then all of them will fail because they are equally important. So how do scientists measure climate change? There are many ways for it. For example, reading wind to probe the past. Air bubble in Antarctic ice are measuring carbon in the air. Argo flows measure the oceans. And what is causing climate? Because of climate change, burning fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and gas to produce energy and power transport, along with other human activities like cutting down forests and farming. This releases heat-trapping pollution called greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, warming the planet and destabilizing the climate. The world is now warming faster than any point in human history. That affects our extreme weather like heavy rain or droughts, long-term shifts in weather patterns, melting ice, and rising sea levels. Climate change is already having a huge impact on people and the environment worldwide. Human activities that release greenhouse gases need to be urgently curbed as much as possible to ensure a stable climate and safe world for everyone. So where do greenhouse gases come from? It comes from generating energy, transport, food production, powering industry, plastics, and waste against the climate change. So what can we do against the climate change? Fortunately, there are always things that we can do to fight against climate change. For example, saving the environment starts with us, and it's our responsibility to act against these terrible changes to preserve the planet for future generations. So we should make our economy green, be more conservative with energy usage, get active and vote, recycle, educate yourself and others, encourage the use of renewable energies, and also you should follow a team of Facebook to understand more about climate and climate change. So there's QR code, and this is logo of Verity. So that was it for listening to me. If you have any questions.
Thank you very much. This was a really important presentation. Thank you. The next speaker is the remarkable young Anastasia.
May I say something, please?
What?
Can I say something, please? So unfortunately, me and my friends have to leave for another project that is running right now. And so it was a great opportunity to be with you. And thank you for everything, but we have to leave. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next speaker is the remarkable young Anastasia Shebidiradze. Please share your opinion with us. Anastasia, can you hear me?
My name is Anastasia Shubitse. I am glad to take part in so interesting project. Hope my presentation will be also interesting for all of us. Let's begin from first slide. The Sustainable Development Goals. They are 17. Then I choose number 7. Sustainable development, affordable and clean energy. No physics energy is a quantifiable process that is transferred only to a physical system. Most of our energy is non-renewable. In the United States and many other countries, most energy source for doing work and renewable energy source, petroleum and hydrocarbon gas liquids. Natural gas coal, and second energy. Their major renewable energy source. Renewable energy was a main energy source for most of human history. The major types of source of renewable energy are geological energy from heat inside the earth, thermal energy of the ocean, solar energy from the sun. Energy from the sun has product energy for billions of years and is a unlimited source for all of the energy source and files that we use today. People have used the sun's rays for thousands of years for warm and to dry meat, fruit, and grains. Over time, people developed technologies to collect solar energy for heat and to convert it into electricity. Wind energy, enter from moving air. Wind is used by when heating of the Earth's surface by the sun, because the Earth's surface is made up of different types of land and water. It's about the suns that and different rates. One example of this uneven heating is the day when cycle. But designs of all problems are renewable energy source. My favorite are sun and wind energy. Hydro from flowing water, hydro energy, energy of sea, air currents. They are called renewable energy source because they are naturally replenished day after day. The sun shines, plants grow, wind blows, and rivers flow. What can happen if we do not take care? We can see it on these pictures. Tank crash full of petrol and Chernobyl. Why is it important? Even a little bit have big meaning for our world. And can you imagine how important can to be have safe and clean energy? Open your mind and heart to our world and try to protect it every single day. World began from each of us. If we began from energy, we can have less problems in other sustainable development goals, for example, like good health and well-being, clean water, and more safety at our planet. That's why my favorite types of energy are solar and wind. Thanks you for your attention.
Thank you very much for such a good presentation. You give us a very interesting and important information. Congratulations, you are amazing. All the speakers are really, really amazing. And our next speaker is Lika Chabunala. Please share your presentation with us.
Hi, everyone. Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Lika Chabunala. Good luck, everyone. And thank you, IIU University, for today. I'm from Republic of Georgia. I'm studying public school of Kunzi. My teacher is Ekaterina Kvantaliani, and today I'm making presentation about sustainable development, 13 goal, climate change. What is climate change? Climate change refers a long-term shift in temperature and the weather patterns. These shifts may be natural, such as drought, permission in the soil cycle, but since the 1800s, human activities have been the main driver of climate change, primarily due to burning fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas. Burning fossil fuel generates greenhouse gas emissions that act like a blanket wrapped around the earth, trapping the sun's heat, the rising temperature. Example of the greenhouse gas emission that are causing climate change include carbon dioxide and methane. What are global goals to eliminate climate change in the world? Everyone can to help to make sure that we meet the global goals. Use these 5 strategies to create action to combat climate change. Strengthen resilience and adaptive capacities to climate-related hazards and natural disasters in all countries. Integrate climate change measures into national policies, strategies, and planning. Improve education, awareness raising, and human and institutional capacity of climate change, mitigational adaptation, immediate reduction, and early warning. Proven mechanism for raising capacities for effective climate change, related planning and management in the least developed countries and small island developing state, including focusing on women, youth, and local and marginalized communities. 5 things to do to decrease climate problem. Well, car bike somewhere you did normally drive today. Even parking your car and reading a bike this rest of the way to your destination can save fossil fuel emission and introduce some exercise to your day. Plan something physically contacting with the literal earth and crying for what grown helps you understand and appreciate it the awesome. All the better if you want to plant in native and actress pollinators like bees, butterflies, and human birds. Take a hike, finding your happy place in the natural environment to helps you become personally happy. Cut food waste, eat leftover, embrace ugly or imperfect produce, and learn other ways to reduce food waste.
Are you here, dear? I can hear you. I can. Lika, are you here? It was a problem. Okay, wait. Contact. This is a really interesting presentation. But we lost here. Please wait. Okay. I don't know what to say. I'm just excited. It was really the most important youth conference. The youth of the world will listen to the voice of the European youth, and together we will unite the whole world. Together we will fight to solve problems. Today, in the 21st century, we see many problems and the 17 goals of sustainable development in decades fixed. Many thanks to all the inspiring young speakers from Georgia. A special thanks to Mr. Pevish Pandit, who created a unique university and united the whole world. Many thanks to the project director, Ms. Inga, who also united European youth. I want to wish you all success. Yes, I believe that we will close many good things together. IIU is the change. IIU brings the change. IIU is the revolution.
Yes, Solan. Yes, you are right. Today is a very important day because we have today the Georgians are really wonderful and excellent young students. I am really very happy today because this conference is very amazing. Thank you so much, all speakers. Thank you so much, all participants. Thank you so much, and very I respect you, of course, teachers. Thank you, because always support students, and oh my God, yes, thank you, million thanks all. We lost and amazing students and Lika, but no problem. And next conference, I think she joined. Thank you so much, everyone, again. Yes. IIU is a change. IIU brings a change. IIU is a revolution. Congratulations all, and bye. I love you all.